the bottom right of the map, we have the prime player, one of the Fantastic Four. It is
Byun Prime.
Find out if he can control his powers today.
I don't think so.
Needs a coffee.
Not with that yawn. Yeah, I guess he needs a coffee. Let's see what his Protoss opponent is going to pull off today, though. We have to the bottom left of the map for STX Seoul.
STX Seoul Deer.
Yeah, and you know, this is such a great map for, you know, for me I like this map for testing builds out because it's kind of straight up. There's nothing really special about it. It's 2-player. The rush distance is medium. Third base is relatively easy to take for all races and all matchups. Not too easy. And also, when the game goes long, there's a lot of expansions you can take that are far away. And there's also some dead airspace, so you can try using a fast drop play as well. So I kind of like this map.
I really want to see how Byun performs today. He was very emotional the last few times that we saw him in the booth, which was of course especially true for the GSTL. But here in the individual league, you always want to pass the first round, and he's a player who always feels also a little bit on the edge here. We just have a couple of stats on the screen right now. Forget about those because they are completely irrelevant. That includes Wings of Liberty. Let's talk about the stats that actually matter. When we look at the offline statistics for Byun against Protoss opponents in Heart of the Swarm, then he has played 13 maps. He won only 5 of those, which means he has a 38% map win ratio against Protoss these days. Not really the best statistic. And then we look at Deer's matchup. Deer's Protoss versus Terran. Of course, once again, offline and in Heart of the Swarm. He has 22 matches played so far, 22 maps that is, and he won 15 of those. So he has a 68% win ratio, which makes him definitely in this particular matchup the favorite right now.
Yeah.
But Byun has sometimes really great builds that he executes, and if he prepared well, he can definitely take on an opponent like Deer.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a forward probe by Deer. It looks like he wants to scout with it potentially later. Otherwise, he would have probably started his pylon already. The Reaper will see this though, and this is really good for Byun, because if it's going to be a late delayed Oracle, for example, or any sort of proxy, even a proxy Dark Shrine, which at this point seems unlikely since he already has double gas. It's just great for Byun to be able to check with that Reaper.
It's always such a great feeling when you find that probe that is hidden on the map and you take it out before it could scout, before it could drop a pylon, before it could do anything at all. So Byun right now feels pretty happy. He sees what's going on, he gets his scouting information, the Mothership Core of course trying to annoy him as much as possible, but he already saw everything that he needed to see.
Yep. He's even sticking around here. Gonna make sure the Nexus is not gonna be cancelled, I guess.
I mean, once that his hit points up, he can just jump into the main base and have a quick look what's going on there. That's exactly what he does. He's now in the mineral line and sees everything that is being built, sees the robo tag, so he is very well aware of what's happening and decides to go straight into Hellbats.
Yeah, it's almost as if he was thinking, okay, I could do a Widowmine drop or a Hellbat drop, and I'm gonna go for Hellbats now that I saw he already has the robo.
This is just being... I guess that he probably saw the patch notes, the upcoming patch notes for the newest patch. He's like, well, better make those Hellbats while they're still awesome.
Yeah. What do you feel about the new patch, actually?
I really didn't have the closest look at it just yet. For the Blue Flame upgrade that they want to emphasize now once again, I think in the late game we can still make those Hellbats work. I don't know if we will still see Hellbat drops. What I kind of like is that they're trying to revive the Benji a little bit. I feel a bit weird about suddenly being having this expensive upgrade, having Cloak that costs 200 for nearly 2 years now. Suddenly having available at 100. That seems maybe too much of a drop.
I think that we will have 2-port Banshee builds come back a little bit, because imagine that the cost of 1 extra starport is actually just taken away from your cost of Cloak now. So I think that could make a comeback a little bit every now and then.
I don't know. You know, when I saw it, I was like, really, did we need 100 drop on the upgrade? Wouldn't 50-50 be enough? Golden would have gone for 40-40, but I'm not quite sure about that. It's just like, I look at this and I'm like, I like it. I like the intention behind it, but I'm a little bit afraid it might have been a bit too much, but only time will tell. That's one of those changes where you really need some data.
Exactly. So, I personally don't like the changes, but we'll see. Like, again, there's no data yet, and I'm sure it's been tested heavily internally. We'll see how much this drop does, though, because these Hellbats are definitely pre-patchers, and they're going to do the bonus damage to light even without that pre-igniter.
Exactly, they can now do quite a lot of damage here, but of course this is also something that you would usually expect as a Protoss player. So let's see how Dia is going to deal with this, because deal with it he has to. We have the Scout coming into the base, but a little bit too late, and here comes also the Medivac already ready, but we have too many units at the natural. I feel that shouldn't do too much damage.
Yeah, it's all about the pull, because he doesn't see immediately and he runs right away.
And yes, the second one coming in, and you know, I'm not sure if Dia saw that, because when the Medivac was passing the Observer, the attack was going, or the attempted attack at the natural was going on, so he might have been focused on that part of the screen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The cannon here is going to be present no matter what. He also has the Mothership Core in a good position, so it's about the probe build more than anything else. And here we go. Does he pull the probes? Because Byun's going to ignore that cannon. He gets 3 already.
Yeah,
2 more.
Kills more. Nice. Good job so far. And here comes immediately the Photonova charge on the Nexus. He has to get out of there. Oh, that hurt.
That was some Carbot distance that he got on that shot.
That's the problem when you are still in cooldown for the afterburners. You always want to time that a little bit different. 7 Harvesters killed, but he loses the Medivac and the double Hellbat. That's definitely a bit of an issue. Still kind of evens out.
Yeah, I agree. And you have to consider as well that he did make 150 mils in the cannon too, because I think it's pretty even, that trade. Now we have range being researched for the Colossi, as well as +1 coming out. Much faster for Byun. And, you know, Byun does have a 3rd command center coming up. The theme of these Protoss versus Terran today have been the Terran always having the slightly faster command center. And we'll see if Deer can actually pressure appropriately to make sure that that doesn't actually get up too easily.
Deer is a really good position here for the Observer too. He sees everything that comes down the run.
Well,
he had a really good position for that Observer.
Byun's like, you know what, Color, you're right. I'll do something about that.
I heard something about a good position. Bam, scan. Yeah, so we see the 3rd base now, but before that he saw everything that came down the ramp, and he saw the 3rd command center. So good scouting information for Deer. And, well, we have him, still being pressured a little bit by those attempted drops, but the observers that he has are always rallied so well. They are going across the map and they see everything that's going on. Have a great position here now and able him to get into position in the first place.
Byun with his Medivac's way too far forward there, almost loses one. A few force seals having to be used here, but he picks off some units. And this is a really good timing for Deer's 3rd base. I really, really like this. He's going to put it out. A lot of Protoss will be a little bit timid on that exposed 3rd base, but he went for range for his Colossi, and he knows that with those 2 Colossi with range, he should be able to hold against ground attacks.
Yeah. We also have this double Stalker in the main base, in addition to the cannon. Tech into Twilight Council and, of course, Templar Archive, as you would expect. So heading more towards that late game that we expected in Gumiho versus Terminator, that we didn't see because Terminator was not able to hold against Gumiho's attacks. But so far, Dia's doing a great job as just walling down that aggression that comes from the Prime Planet.
Look at that Widowmine. We saw that just on screen a moment ago. Byun really knowing that warp prisms, especially on this map with the close air distance, could be a problem for him in the late game. So he puts just a Widowmine on the edge of his base. It's going to help against the warp prisms so much. Really, really like that. You can see that Byun's making some tweaks in his play. A pylon block here is beautiful. Oh, wow. It's going to delay only for a few seconds, but anything. 25 mils for a few delays, and even a stim he uses.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
That was sweet. Did he actually cancel?
I don't think he canceled, actually. I didn't see the plus 75, so I don't think so.
Me neither. That makes it not worth it.
Yeah, if you don't cancel, it's not worth it. For sure.
It was cute. It was a cute move. But still. Scouting still going on, trying to find those pylons that are on the map, and I'm more interested if Byun is going to set up a bit of a defense at his 3rd base. That is not really the map where it comes this much into play, but I don't know if Belcher Vestus is going to be one of the maps that we will see in this particular best of 3, but if we do, I'm very interested what Byun is going to do about his 3rd base. In past games, that was the kind of
the bane of his existence.
Exactly, the bane of his existence. That was like the main point where a player had to attack Byun to take him out and to really make him struggle. So I hope that he this time is going to be a little bit more cautious about that. Regarding the upgrades in this particular game here at hand, Byun is now trying to take the lead with those double upgrades that we have with the double engineering bay. They're still very, very even in overall supply, and the Ghost Academy now comes onto the production tab since we have the first High Templars being warped in. So pretty decent here, both players just hitting their strides.
Yeah. You know, I think the run buys will come into play more so when the 4th goes up. He also has that pylon up to the top right. And I have to continue to stress this because it's such a problem for Byun. He's lost so many games he's been ahead in massively just due to not being able to deal with these. And there's the Warp Prism. So many observers. He's having to use a lot of scans here. Uh-oh, the Stalker is a little bit exposed. It does have blink, so he can pick off a unit and then blink away.
Oh,
unless he's like this. That was really close.
Yeah, he needs to be careful here, but Byun doesn't want to overextend. He wants to play this a little bit more cautious, and that's a really good choice. He doesn't realize that there are so many observers on the map, and what Dia has is kind of a legal map hack now.
Yeah.
He knows whatever's happening here. Byun is getting his units out. It's going to be a matter of microcontrol in the end.
Yeah, definitely true. Byun does find one of the pylons over here. That's really, really important because that's the pylon that would most likely send the Zealots to his 4th once he sends that over there. Depends on where he takes his 4th too, because on this map a lot of Terrans will take the 4th just left of this pylon, where you see the 2nd pylon to the left is. And will he get this on the main base? No, because Byun is very much ready. He's got 3 turrets and a Widow Mine there. This is not the Byun that we've seen in the past, and I like it. He's making adaptations to his play.
And he's going to lose the Warp Prism. Absolutely no chance.
How did the Zealot get out?
I have no idea. He jumped, I guess.
That was crazy. Good storm on the Vikings and also on the Ghosts. And EMP does go down though.
It didn't actually it was like really well done here. I feel that the storms didn't achieve as much as they could have. He dropped a lot of those. But yeah, that Zealot definitely jumped out of the plane.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. Uh-oh, this army is actually exposed next to that hole. If that happens with the pathing mistake, what Deer just did there, and Byun sees it, then you can't run away, and you can't fight either. You're just stuck against a wall. So you have to be very careful about that on Newkirk.
Dark Shrine now coming into play. We have more and more ghosts being built. Double base now also on the production tab. The command centers here for Byun. He wants to get his economy ahead. Here come those attempted storms. The army sees it and he has to move back. Storm's actually not doing anything at all. The last one at least killing a Marine. But there was 3 storms that he just dropped.
Yeah, 3 storms for a Marine. Never want that. Now here come those run-bys. Byun doesn't have a 4th base just yet, so they're not going to do a whole lot. But it's a mineral sink here that keeps Byun off of him while he's trying to get some map presence in the map. And if he gets these ghosts, it's actually worth it.
Yeah, one of the ghosts goes down, and that is going to be a problem if that happens later on again. We have personal cloaking now also being researched. The +3 attack upgrade is nearly completed, but Dia is also hitting his upgrades, and he's going straight into the shield upgrades now.
Oh, a great storm there. A little bit of Byun's mistake, though. He could have definitely sniped that one earlier.
Yeah, that storm hurt. That storm hurt a lot.
That was a pretty expensive one that he had to eat there. And here we go, Templar for the flank, and he's trying to get those Vikings to attack. Like beautiful storms there, getting the Ghost as well as damaging several Vikings. You know, if you're Byun here, you got to be sniping. The snipe has a higher range than the storm.
Yeah, you need to. And here comes the EMP. He uses one, tries to move in. We have a huge bank currently for Dia, and here come those flanks.
Oh, wow.
He's trying to flank with those few High Templars that he has at the top, but they are immediately being taken out. Great reaction here by Byun upon scouting them.
Yeah, not so much by Deer. Definitely could have done more with that.
Yeah, even just dropped the storm.
Uh-oh, that's that wall I was talking about. He has to make sure he doesn't get trapped there. Oh, that was so cool. I've never seen that before. Tanking Viking shots with a hallucination. That is actually, I've never seen that.
Oh, and here comes the Warp Prism again, but also spotted. The Vikings are trying to go in. Do we have units in the main base that might be able to pull that off? He's going straight for the... Why is he going straight for... Okay, now that makes a little more sense. But
oh! What is with these Warp Prisms?
1 DT. Nice EMP, but that's not enough.
Well, this is just kind of awkward.
SUVs.
Anyways, oh!
Legend, go back in the main base. I want to see the SUVs kill the DT. Yeah, there it is. Nice.
This could be devastating. Nice feedbacks. Byun has to be using his ghosts a little bit more efficiently than he is right now. I like that he has the Vikings a little bit far forward so you can see those Templar flanks coming in. That's how you do it. You always want to...
that EMP was beautiful, and those Vikings immediately trying to take down the army, but they have to be a little bit careful. And again, the storms!
The storms. The Vikings spotted these so long ago, but he did not deal with them.
Yeah, now he takes at least down those High Templars. and the supply drops a little bit for Deer here, but another EMP hits the Stalkers. So Deer is really a little bit reluctant to commit more, but he is currently on 5 bases against 3.
He's adding extra gates too, because he knows that the longer this game goes on, the more Zealot Warpins and reinforcements are going to be useful. He's starting to build that mineral bank really, really high.
Here come those High Templars again. He doesn't see them. He doesn't focus on the
what is he doing? He doesn't even stim here because he knows he's so low on hit points.
Oh my god, his army is actually losing a lot of HP before the battle even starts. And without the perfect EMPs, this is going to be a very uphill battle for him now. Sensor Tower has already been taken out, and the High Templars are once again on the move.
Yep, that SCV and that turret not going up. Good storms here again, taking out so many of those hit points. The production facility is forming a nice wall here for Byun, so it's very difficult for Deer to engage, but eventually he's going to clear those out. Beautiful EMPs on those Zealots.
Yeah, and those Time Warps as well, a great position for him to be in, and this is the time that he chooses to just dart in with those Zealots. He charges, but retreats immediately, since now suddenly he's losing too many units, especially those Colossi completely exposed there. Not a lot of Stalkers left.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake to engage like that. He thought he would kill all the Vikings with the storms. They still survived though. The Colossus will fall. Yep. And the Zealots are just tanking here, but Byun is taking a massive lead in supply. Just look at the bank for Deer. He needs to be using that. He needs to be chrono boosting his gate lasers like crazy, as he is now in the main base.
I talked about this earlier. He's already on 5 bases. Byun has now 4, but the 5 for Deer were up for quite a long time. The bank that he worked up is just insane, and he can reproduce just so easily with all those gateways that he built. He has the production to just run in cycle after cycle and doesn't shy of investing additional minerals and gas into the next shield upgrade. So Byun is really the one that has to play passive at this point.
Yeah, he really does. He's trying to get his +3 for his Vikings out right now, which will help him against the Colossi. It's just that there's so much production here. Deer is already remaxed, and he still even has the better bank than Byun. And he has that base now just starting to be mined up near the 11 o'clock. And Byun a little bit exposed over here at the planetary. There's even an Immortal. I don't think this is holding.
Yeah, the army is trying to move in with a stim, but it's too late already. Byun losing his base, and things are looking very grim since he's now down to 3 bases, only 2 of them mining. And this is just gonna be one of those games where Deer is suffocating Byun.
Yeah, Byun's multitasking is just not holding up to Deer right now. He's not able to split his army to deal with the 2 forces of Deer. Maybe he thought Deer's army was much smaller. Maybe he thought that was his whole army, but that's not the case.
Oh,
and walking into storms, Byun.
These storms are crazy good, taking away so many of the hit points, and there's already another force moving into the right side, trying to take down that base that is currently being put down at the 4th.
Byun's just not splitting his army. And this is going to happen again. We're going to see history repeat itself. The units will run in and snipe the command center. He's going to turn his entire army around, and Deer's going to move into the middle of the map again.
He's going to lose that command center for sure. He's just not fast enough. And he's moving back and forth, and that's something that he can't just simply not afford that. He will be losing too much army supply, too much economy, and in the long run, he cannot keep this up like this.
Yeah. Deer is playing tennis with them. Byun is 1Aing back and forth. Now he splits at least his ghosts over here, but he doesn't want to have those ghosts against the Colossi and the Storms. Oh no, Byun losing so many expensive units right now. You can't remake those on a dime.
Everything just going down here. And still 3,000 minerals on the bank for Deer, and also the gas to back it up. He has all those space. He's even taking a 6 space right now, whereas we have only 3 for Byun. And once again, only 2 of those are mining. And he's running out of minerals at the natural already.
This is looking like the Anaconda strategy right now. He's just suffocating Byun. You're choking him out. Good storms here. The Vikings are splitting a little bit.
Well, they have to against those Archons, but at least now the Bio army is moving in, so the Archons are retreating. And once again, while retreating, he's losing a lot of those Colossi, and that was also a problem earlier on. His Storms are really the biggest part of his fight, of his wins here. But now Byun is suddenly on fire, moving in and hitting exactly the battle that he needed.
Yeah, he needs this momentum right now. The problem is with the next round of Warpins, Deer's going to remax, but he's hitting so many of these Templars, removing the AoE. But here comes that next wave of Zealots, and I don't know if Byun has enough. The Vikings here just not really useful. In the air, he needs to land them at least if he wants to survive here.
So many of those Zealots charging in once again and just throwing Byun back. He's down to 160 supply against 185, and look at those Marauders. They are already down to the last 10 hit points at this point. The rest of them charging in. The Archons also dealing out a lot of damage, and even Stalkers now moving in. This does not look good for Byun. This looks like game one.
This looks like game is over.
Yeah, it looks like game 1 is going to end for the Chronos.
Shield upgrades really showing here, and even though the cloaking is good on the Ghosts, he can just ignore that because he can remake his entire army on just a whim. whenever he wants it. He can warp in an army at the blink of an eye.
A 50 supply lead currently for Deer, who on the other hand now also used up his bank. He's going up with a 60 supply lead and has still the better income here, but he used up the bank for now. So if Byun can get another engagement like the past one, then maybe he's able to come back into this game, but it's a stretch.
It is. Byun is going to catch these Archons, at least attempting to here. Oh, once those Archons finish, they have so much damage output, and here they come. Byun is in trouble here. I think this is the last engagement we're going to see this game. GG!